Oh, hey! How are you guys? It's Colleen Gallagher here. Happy Monday night, but it could be any time in the world based on when you listen to this, based on when you hear the replay. So, welcome. When you join, say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from on this beautiful planet Earth we are coexisting on. I know I have a lot of messages, private messages going with you lately. I know we have Kenya. I know we have London. I know we have Dubai. I know we have New Zealand. I know we have different places in America, but I have a lot of you from all over the world right now that I'm having dialogue with in private messages. So Australia is another one. So wherever you are, say hi, say where you're joining. And if you are watching on the replay, please make sure to say #replay and still engage and let me know that you're here. If you've never seen me, you've never been here, if you see my face, my name, Colleen Gallagher International, or just Colleen Gallagher anywhere online, this is my storefront. So this is my business. This is my storefront. This is how I've cultivated a community of people all over the world who are super passionate about returning to love, about falling in love, about creating a lifestyle they love. And so I'm super excited just to be present here with you guys. And you guys don't know, I'm an author. I have 3 books. I will show you them. So book number 1 was Live Your Truth. Begin your journey to freedom and healing. If you're just starting your journey to wanting to travel the world or digital marketing or receiving clarity on your purpose, this would be the book for you. You can get a signed copy on my website, www.colleengallagher.co, or go to Amazon. My second book is this, The Future for Rohingyas Education. So I recommend, again, you can go to my website or Amazon. And my third book is called An Uncompromised Life. Overcome trauma and heartbreak, experience the unexplainable, and truly fall in love. So I have these books. Timothy, good evening, and I love your green. Green is the heart chakra, so I'm happy you're here. But those are my 3 books, and from those books, I have over 25 online courses that I've launched and I've sold and supported people through transformation and allowing them to leverage their medium of choice, their artistry, their craft to be birthed into the world, to co-create a community of people, to awaken the planet, to return the planet to consciousness and love. And so before I get into today's live, because I have some very important topics I want to talk to you guys about, especially about relationships. I really want to go big on this live on relationships and how do we really create relationships that are going to be meaningful and lasting in this life? And how do we know when to let go of relationships? So before we get into it though, I have my Magical Creature Oracle deck. If you've never seen my Oracle deck or you've bought it, make sure to go to Amazon or my website or Indie Deck Hub. But I'm going to read us a card. Ooh, so our card is Horizon, the blue background, which means everyone who's here needs to focus on their business or their purpose. And this is the mantra. In business, always seek to move horizontally to expand your skill sets and network. So this is Horizon. So it's really not so much about trying to get to the, CEO position or get to the, promotion as quickly as possible. But instead it's really looking at how do I move so I can expand myself. It's not so much about going vertical, getting taller. It's growing larger, taking up more space, growing energetically so that you can be a resource and an asset and a contribution to anyone who comes up to you and says, hey, I'm struggling with this. Hey, I'm not really sure what to do on this. And you have expanded horizontally, moved yourself so big. You've become so expansive and in this very energetic movement that you can really guide people like water in a way, very fluidly into where they want to go by just being in contact with you. And so anyway, with that, let's get into today's live. It's all going to be about relationshiping, which I'm super excited about. Whew, man, if you guys watched, hey Victor, if you guys watched my stories this weekend, you saw that there was a little bit of a drama, but I am really grateful for it. And I took really the past 48 hours to really process and go deep into my feelings and my body and my experience. And I've also had many one-on-one dialogues with you in private conversation about your relationships and the ups and downs and turmoils of what you've experienced in life. So here's what I want to focus on, because obviously I do believe in digital marketing. Obviously I do believe in building community. Hey, James. Obviously I do believe in returning people to a lifestyle they love. And so as a coach, as a guide, as a mentor, as a facilitator, this is my career. People pay me for advice. People come to me and they pay me to learn how to cultivate relationships or cultivate their creations or grow something, right? What I've learned is those of us who are kind of aliens, who, you know, we're a little bit different, we're a little bit out there. Everything in this life comes down to relationships. It comes down to how you relate to others, how you express yourself with others. It comes down to how deeply you know yourself. Because if you don't have a relationship with yourself, you don't know yourself, you can't be in a relation with others. And so what I wanted to offer in this space tonight is I want you to begin to reflect on how your relationship is with the people around you. Now, I want you to begin to reflect on how your past relationships have been, interpersonal or career-based. And if I'm guessing, most of you, probably similar to myself, did not always have the best track record with relationships. Now, this could be because we hid parts of ourselves, we shamed parts of ourselves, we didn't want to communicate part of our needs or what we want or what we desired, out of fear of rejection, out of fear that somebody would leave. We never wanted to say we wanted a promotion to step on someone's feet. We didn't want to like ask for something we felt like maybe we weren't ready for, or we didn't quite put the time in from the corporate ladder. So we kind of just kept our mouth shut until the time was right. So I want you to begin, though, to think about every time, and I say this in my first book, Live Your Truth, every time that you suppress a part of you, you pretend that there's something within you that's not alive. So this could look like a lot, even if you're relationshiping and you're like, I want a partner, I want a boyfriend, I want a girlfriend, I want to be intimate with you, whatever that it is, you could say, and any of these things, or I want to grow my career. Every time you don't communicate those things, right? You don't share what's actually coming up in you. Like once you have a thought in you, once you have a feeling, once something's alive inside of you, your job is to learn how to communicate it as a person, right? Because something isn't going to be placed inside of you if it's not meant to be expressed through you. But you can't just go up to anyone, right, and be, I want you to be my boyfriend, or I want you to be my girlfriend, right? That's not really how it works, right? There's a process and there's a system that we go through in curating relationships so that it births something really beautiful. It's kind of like I saw something, they said, like, you know, if a flower dies, right, was the flower a bad flower, or was it just given the wrong environment so it couldn't flourish, it couldn't become what it needed to become? And so the same is true with your relationships and with yourself. You aren't having the relationships you want, you aren't getting the results you want because you may be going about creating relationships with the wrong systems and the wrong processes. You may be showing up in a relationship that isn't going to work for you, and you may be ignoring relationships that could be a possibility for you. So I don't want to get, like, I guess, too deep into too many examples, but what I wanted to share is that if you want to live into your purpose, right, you're going to have to learn how to sell. Everyone is a salesperson, right? Even if you go to the doctor and the doctor says you have cancer, which I did, and the doctor had to sell me on another surgery when I was 8 years after my first surgery, or 2 surgeries before that. And I was like, no, like he didn't sell me on the surgery, right? Like he actually turned me off because it was like, no, you just don't even make sense. Your argument of why you're selling the surgery is illogical to me. And he lost, right? But he has a quota he has to meet, right? Because he gets money based on those sales. But if he doesn't sell, right, that's it. So the same is true. Like if you don't go to the coffee store, like you still are selling, like, do you want vanilla? Do you want almond milk? Do you want this? Do you want to add a chocolate chip cookie? Like all these things, are you asking these questions for the upsell? Are you asking these questions for more? if you're at your career and you want to go a bigger salary, are you asking, hey, I could add value in this way. I could do this. I could do whatever. Like everything is a sale. Everything is sales and connection. When you're going on a date, when you are relating with people, you're still selling yourself. Is this going to be compatible? Looking within, here's what I can offer and bring to the table. What can you offer and bring to the table? And does this work for us? Is this compatible for us? So until you begin to realize that every relationship, right? Every single relationship, when you come from it from a systematic way, looking at, here's who I am. I need to know myself first before any relationship's ever going to work. I need to have a master of who I am. What are my triggers? And what I mean by triggers, what are things that really activate me into an emotionally heightened situation? What are the things that I don't like? What are the things I like? What is it that I want out of life, right? In a relationship that I just went through, I didn't want to date someone where I couldn't like experience the things I wanted to experience. It's like you're always waiting on something. You're never really sure what time it's going to be. You're going to have to switch dates and times because of the way that the infrastructure of this person's life was. I didn't want that life. Those are not memories that I wanted. It is not compatible. So that, looking at that, right, there's a system and process. I saw what my system was. I saw what my process was. I saw strategically what I wanted out of life. I've cultivated this the past 4 years, right? And now it was time to go, this is where I'm ready, and sell myself on that and sell into what type of experience in life I want. And there's nothing bad about that. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing shameful. I think we shame ourselves. If you listen to my podcast this week on acceptance, we shame ourselves so much for what we want. We like talk ourselves out of thinking that whatever is coming up in us, whatever that expression is of, I want this in a partner, I want to experience this sexually, I want to experience this in business where I can travel the world, I can be with who I want. Maybe you do want multiple partners. Maybe you want an open relationship. Maybe you want monogamy. Maybe you do not want marriage and you are in a marriage that is not for you. And you're shaming yourself thinking, oh, I just have to suck it through and it will get better. What if there's just another narrative? Stop shaming yourself for what you really want. Looking at this is who I am. This is how I function in relationship to self. And now I'm going to go out there and communicate that. And that's the biggest thing, is artistically communicating what is actually occurring within you. Like I said, you can't just go up to anyone and be like, I'm going to sell myself on you dating me. Obviously, that's not the psychology of it, right? That's not how you would do it. But you have to go, okay, this is me. This is who I am. This is what I want out of life, right? Where am I going to go to meet the people I want to meet and to create the memories I want to create, right? Like for me, you're probably not going to find me in like a dive bar, right? That's not really the experience I want to create. You're probably not going to find me at like a brick and mortar store, right? Because my storefront is here. It's on the digital world. So I have to look at, where am I going to go to begin cultivating relationships that are going to bring me the memories that I want to go, that I want to experience. And this is where you have the artistic side of you that's coming through communication of, this is what I want, and here's how I'm navigating that. So anyway, I hope I'm doing a good job of explaining this. I just felt like it was really powerful because if you guys didn't see this either on my Instagram, this was so exciting. I like fangirling. But Gabby Bernstein, if you've taken any of my digital courses, hey Roca. If you've taken any of my digital courses, I've mentioned Gabby Bernstein a few times. Today, I was on her Dear Gabby. I got chosen for her live, and it was so amazing to be present with her and have a conversation about relationships and about your reaction to certain relationships. So that was a beautiful, beautiful experience. And it's on her feed, which is so cool. If you want to go look at it, and she has over 1 million followers, which is amazing. So it was so cool to be like on that with her and having that dialogue. Yes, James, if you go to her feed, you'll see it, and it's tagged on my story. But if you go to minute 707, you'll hear her and I having dialogue, and it's super expansive and super powerful. And after that, I went on and got her meditation, her Happy Days book, and I read chapter 3. And so I was diving really deep today into relationships and into my opportunity to be better in knowing what I want out of relationships. And if something doesn't meet my standard of what I want, just letting it go. Just letting it go. Because I've done so much work to know what I want, and it's not worth the fight and the struggle and it's not worth it. if something's meant to be in your life, it'll be. And so I wanted to do this. If you did not listen to episode 101 today of my podcast, the Colleen Gallagher podcast, on acceptance, which is like accepting who you are, accepting when you went through relationships or you've chosen to go through relationships that cause pain and cause harm, and cause trauma in you, like accepting that you chose to experience that. And then when you choose to let it go, the freedom and liberation that comes through that. So, So I just wanted to share that because I feel like today there was so much that happened through me, and a release, and you can see it in my face almost, even like a release and a beauty and a liberation. And so I wanted to share just about relationships. Everything comes down to relationships. Everything comes down to the strategy, the system, and the process you have to navigate people and to navigate how every person can be entered into your life in a way of service to them, right? So if I meet someone, whether it's my free podcast, whether it's I have a large network I can introduce them to, whether it's a program I have, a book that I have, my oracle deck that I have, my, let's see here, my activation coins that I have, soon to be, if you want to, soon to be my sunglasses that we're going to have, like, if you have all of these things, right, that I can support people with in returning to love and returning to mysticism and returning to magic and returning to miracles that are really, all the way from free, up to tens of thousands of dollars. But I have this ecosystem that any person I meet, I can cultivate a relationship with, even if I'm not in the room. Because I have all these resources, products, services, things that allow people to feel seen and understood in their life experience. And so that's why I said, and it's funny that this card started off in the very beginning. It's like, grow horizontally. What are you doing to take up more space? What are you doing as a person to cultivate where people can create an experience with you without you being there? They can build trust. They can feel like they are not alone. And I believe each of you here have been on that journey, or you've been wanting to go on that journey of, how do I begin to be of service to other people? How do I become the man or woman I wish I had when I was going through so much pain and there was no one there? And to me, that's why I chose this path. I mean, I ran away to New Zealand, and I moved across the world all by myself at age 24 or 23. And I wanted to become the woman that I felt like I never saw. I never saw a woman who was doing it quite the way I was, right? I never saw a woman who wanted to travel the world until my very first mentor. I never saw a woman who's wanted to do business and the rock star and the beauty. I never experienced that. And so I became that so I could become it for all of you. And a lot of my clientele is men, because you guys have been looking for a woman like me. And I wanted to be a representation of what it would take for men to align to be able to attract a woman like myself, or to be a leader in business of their own soul-led business, their own creative nature, instead of just functioning in a linear process system, but really beginning as men and the masculine, men and women, to believe in yourself, to believe in your creativity, to believe in the voice inside your head, to believe in mysticism, to really believe in that and cultivate, like I said, this space for more people to build a relationship with you and transform. So anyway, with that, what I'm going to share is that I do have a 7-week how to become a master of digital sales. It's a 7-week course. It's called, it's a self-study course. So there's all the videos are done and it's self-study, but how to become a master in digital sales. And so this is all about relationshiping. This is all about how do you begin to create a relationship with your work, with who you are, and how do you begin to sell through the digital world? How do you begin to create, like I have a relationship in this live video with you, even though I don't know, every single person that watched, you're not saying hi, but I know a good portion of you because you show up on the lives consistently. How do you do that in a way that feels so good and so expansive and so fun? And so I'll leave my PayPal link. The PayPal link will be here. It's $555, $555. So I'll leave my PayPal link here. I'll go on now. But if you guys have any questions on relationships or things like this while I get this, feel free to type them through. So I'm happy to answer them while I'm sitting here to type my PayPal in. 555. Oh, James, and 11 likes. PayPal.me/thelovegirl. Okay, so it would be $555. You PayPal me in the comment that I just left. I'll leave it there. This will only be good probably till like, what's today, Monday till Wednesday. So it's been like 48 hours. So if you want to learn about relationships, you want to learn about sales, you want to learn about, even if it's like, this still works and it's like dating. If you want to learn how to sell yourself in dating, like this is how I have, like right now on the one dating app that I'm on, I think there's like, I don't know, 50 messages I have of people wanting to go on dates. Like it's literally ridiculous and I'm not even responding to all of them. So this would be the course for you. This is the course for you if you feel like you're an alien, you feel like you're chosen, you feel like you're called, you feel like you're sick of the masculine paradigm of doing. You're ready to truly create a life from creation, from centeredness. You're ready to learn how to cultivate good, sustainable relationships that work for you instead of in the never-ending cycle of the drama of relationships that just are not meant for you. You're ready to let that go and learn a new way of relating. You're ready to let that go and also understand the digital world. Like how do you communicate in the digital world? It's a little bit different than in person, right? How do you talk? How do you navigate? How's your signature DNA communication channel? So anyway, that is what that is. The PayPal is below, or you can message me and say, Colleen, I'm really interested in learning relationships or sales, and I will get you the link as well. But if there's no questions, you guys, I think that's gonna be it. I'll give it a second. But make sure if you guys watch the replay, please say hi. Let me know what you liked. If you haven't gotten any of my products, maybe you're not quite ready for a self-study course, then I highly recommend one of my books, my coin, my oracle deck. Highly recommend. So, all right, guys, no questions. Well, I love tuning in late with you guys. I loved the engagement. I loved how many of you hopped on. It would mean the world if you share this or you tag a friend. And if you don't follow me on Instagram and you have Instagram, please make sure to do that because I'm there active on stories a lot more than I am here. Hold on. Instagram.com. Ciao, Timothy. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't, because that's like where I do videos like every day live on stories basically. But hope to see you guys in the digital sales course, learning and teaching you about relationships. And I can't wait to talk soon. Bye.